Dear students, welcome back. Next school of thought of Unit 3 is Existentialism. अस्तित्ववाद. Existentialism is a philosophical movement that emphasizes individual freedom, choice, and responsibility. It arose in the 19th and 20th centuries with key figures such as Soren Kierkegaard, Friedrich Nietzsche, Jean-Paul Sartre, and Martin Heidegger. Existentialism is concerned with the nature of human existence, focusing on personal experience, the meaning of life, and the inherent challenges of human freedom. In the context of education, existentialism has profound implications for knowledge, reality, and value. Knowledge in existentialism. Number first, subjective understanding. Existentialism posits that knowledge is deeply personal and subjective. It emphasizes the importance of individual perspective and experience in the acquisition of knowledge. Application. In education, this means encouraging students to explore their own experience and perspectives, fostering and learning environment where personal insights are valued. Next, authenticity and self-discovery. Knowledge is not just about external facts but about self-discovery and authenticity. True knowledge involves understanding oneself and one's place in the world. Application. Educational practices should encourage self-reflection, critical thinking, and the exploration of one's identity and beliefs. Third, existential inquiry. Knowledge includes grappling with existential questions about life, death, freedom, and meaning. It involves a deep, often unsettling inquiry into the human condition. Application. Curricula can include philosophical discussion, literature, and arts that provoke students to consider profound existential questions and develop their own answers. Reality in existentialism. First, individual existence. Existentialists argue that reality is experienced individually and subjectively. The essence of reality is found in personal existence rather than in abstract concept. Application. Education should focus on individual experiences and reality, allowing students to explore and interpret their own existence and the world around them. Number second, being and nothingness. Concept like Heidegger's being and Sartre's nothingness highlight the complexity of reality as something that individuals must confront and define for themselves. Application. Educators can create opportunities for students to confront and reflect on their own existence, encouraging them to define their reality through personal projects, existential discussions, and self expressive activities. Number three, freedom and responsibility. Reality is shaped by individual choices and actions. Existentialism emphasizes that humans are free to create their own reality but are also responsible for the consequences. Application: teaching should empower students to make their own choices and understand the responsibility that comes with freedom, preparing them to navigate and shape their own reality. Values in existentialism. Number one, personal value. Values are not universal but are created by individuals through their experiences and choices. Existentialism emphasizes the subjective nature of values. Application: education should help students develop their own values rather than imposing a fixed set of values, promoting moral autonomy and personal integrity. Number two, number second is authentic living. Living authentically means acting in accordance with one's true self and values rather than conforming to external pressure or societal norms. Application: school can encourage students to pursue their genuine interest and passion, fostering an environment that values authenticity over conformity. Number third, ethical responsibility. Existentialism posits that with freedom comes ethical responsibility. Individuals must take responsibility for their action and their impact on others. Application: ethical education should focus on helping students understand the implication of their choices and develop a strong sense of responsibility and ethical reasoning. Now, aims of education according to existentialism. Existentialism school of thought proposes the following aims of education. First, development of individuality of the learner. This is important because identifying oneself, acknowledging oneself as a human being, as as an entity with intellectual processes is a function of education. Number second, development of ego of the learner. This is important for developing his her personality. This ego gives him her courage. An individual feels contented only when he or she does a task with self courage and confidence. As we know that enthusiasm and courage are the two virtues that develop one's personality. Next, intellectual development for moral decisions. For the development of the holistic personality, developments of all the dimensions are necessary. Thus, this school of thought emphasized freedom for the growth in all the dimensions. Development of intellect is possible with the help of an individual who may be able to take moral decisions. Next, preparation for the struggle of life. This school of thought considers focuses to be around an individual and his her situation. His her journey from these situations keep him her remaining of old situation or past experiences in his her conscious and subconscious mind. Hence, preparing an individual for this struggle of life with confidence and accountability is importance for his or her existence. Now, curriculum according to existentialism. Existentialist does not believe in curriculum in itself. Various interpretations are to be considered into development of the objectives and curriculum to be developed to fulfill these objectives. They want learners to realize the free existence of his or her existence. They want to make them free from religious orthodox philosophy of and God. Therefore, don't want to include these areas of studies or subject in curriculum. Existentialists wants learner to be what they want to be. This could only be possible when curriculum is broad enough and learner is free to choose any subject. For mental and intellectual development of the learners, language and literature are to be included in curriculum. To develop intellectual and decision making at the different situation, learner need to be creative. To show the physical presence in the world, some philosophers under school of thought existentialist propose inclusion of activities and games in curriculum too. Now, methods of teaching. Teaching methods under the existentialism school of thought focus on hands-on activities, problem solving, experimenting, and conducting projects and prefer group learning or team learning. It also believes learners should apply their knowledge to real situations as this would prepare them for citizenship, daily living, and future career. As we know, this school of thought supports freedom of the learner, as a result of which some consider Socrates' methods to be the best method, that is, teacher and learner are equal. Both are free to ask questions to each other. Both can express their ideas freely. Teachers view the learner as an entity within a social context in which the learner must confront others' views to clarify his or her own. By the mutual efforts, new knowledge is constructed. Shastra says true knowledge is something which is learned by the experience and efforts of oneself. Hence, it supports the activity method and experiential learning is method of teaching. Generally, group teaching is not advocated when individual focus is on learning is required for the learners. Now, role of teachers and learners. You may like to appreciate that an existentialist teacher first tries to create a conducive learning environment in which the learner develops his or her own way of learning in consonance with their surrounding. In doing so, consciously or unconsciously, he or she explores, repeats, reveals him himself or herself and realizes his or her existence in the entire process. To do this, the teacher must also have a self realization of himself or herself. Now, implications for education. Existentialist philosophy in education promotes a highly individualized approach where the focus is on the development of the whole person, including their emotional, intellectual, and moral dimensions. It encourages educators to foster environments where students can explore their identities and existential questions. Value and incorporate students' personal experience and perspective into the learning process. Emphasize critical thinking, self reflection, and the development of personal values and ethical reasoning. Encourage students to take responsibility for their own learning and to understand the broader implications of their choices and actions. By integrating existentialist principles, education can become a transformative process that prepares individual to live authentically and responsibly in a complex and often ambiguous world. This is all about the existentialism. Thank you. Thank you so much.